Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 10:15 in the morning. I'm going to do a couple of things here on this DT250 today. First of all, if you look here, these shocks are in really bad shape. So I came across another pair that I bought that look really good, and they're on top of that the original style. So I'm going to install those. The other thing I found, this is a magnesium unit. It says magnesium on it, but it's been broken and then fixed with JB Weld or something like that. So for now, I think I'm going to take that off and replace it with this unit over here. So that's what we're going to do today to start out. If I feel energetic, I may work on some of the wiring again. I know I need to, I got a wire here that needs a connector on it. I think these are all okay. I need to find me a horn and get the horn in. The wires up here, some of which don't have covers on them. That will be bad. So we'll be looking at those. And what else? I need to obviously get the proper bolt in my front brake. I took that brake off and cleaned the shaft where it goes through and the cam on the inside. So the brake works. I need to get a bolt in it. And that's where we'll begin. All right, first of all, I do have two of the correct lights here, but I don't have the mounting bracket that comes out here and goes back here to mount these on. And they don't appear to be available, so I'm most likely going to have to make a substitute. All right, we're going to need to get this bolt out and this bolt. And those look like about maybe 17s. All right, 17 it is. A little rusty. Those are supposed to be chrome, so I think I'll probably take them on wire brush and see if I can shine them up a little bit. Alrighty, we got the old ones out, so we can get the new ones in. Oh boy. I'm not sure here. I either need to get the bike up in the air a little bit. I got these cleaned up rather nicely. Hit them with a polishing wheel. See if we can get that lined up. Okay, let me get the top one in. Ooh, that's a long ways difference. They must have had longer springs in there. Okay, so we're going to have to take the other side off and then let this down a little bit, and we should be ready to go. So I'll shut you down for now and be back after I get the other side off. All right. We got the new ones in. They look considerably better than the old ones. If I can get this all the way in, so it'll start. Uh-oh. That doesn't want to go. All right, the shocks have both been changed. They look a little bit better than the ones that were in there, don't they? Next step. I think we'll replace this cover. I'm not sure what this one's made of. Probably just aluminum. The one that's on there is made of magnesium. At least it's labeled magnesium, and it's probably worth a small fortune if it was any good, but it's been repaired with some JB weld, so I don't think it's worth much. All right. Like so many of these I've seen, this back screw where it plugs into is actually busted off. Now, it's a bit greasy back there, so trying to glue it wouldn't do any good, but once I get that, when I pull the engine out, I suspect I may even buy some of that aluminum welding rods you see advertised on YouTube and other places, and try and weld this back together. I'm not sure if that'll work, but I know it'll have to be sandblasted and cleaned up in there. Make sure there's no contaminants before I do anything, either glue or either JB Weld or aluminum welding rods. Wow. But I do need to save this piece at the very least, because just having it on there keeps a brace between here and the plate. But I definitely need some pliers to hold this thing, I think. Ah, there it goes. Okay. show you on this one. It was broken 2 places and repaired with something, I don't know whether it's epoxy or JB Weld, but I just don't feel comfortable with it on there. I'm sure it'll break loose and start flapping again. So we're going to put this one on instead. Yeah, I think we are. Yes, we are. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this back on there. This little broken piece. I'm going to put it on there so well, looks like the screw that came out of there must have gathered up some of the aluminum out of something, probably out of here. So before I try and screw this back in there, I'm going to try and clean the threads on this thing. Let's see what happens. All right, somebody had attempted to glue this onto there too, so down here. So there's a big wad of some kind of glue on there, but obviously they didn't clean it up very well beforehand, so it broke right off again. But I'm going to put this on here, and I'll put in these 2 machine screws. And we should be good there. That's kind of providing a little support down there, I think. What happens is the chain breaks or comes loose or something, and first thing it does is it knocks this little bridge off right here. If you can see that. And it happens on other ones besides the DT250. A lot of the ones I've seen are broken. Looks like we need a bolt in the shift lever too, don't we? Mounting bolt is not all the way in. Finding all kinds of things. How about these other 2 mounting bolts? Are they in? That one's in. This one down here. That's in. Okay. So we've done with that. It's getting close to lunchtime. So I'm going to take a little break. All right, it's afternoon. I've had my lunch. We're missing a few things on here. I think that'll be the next thing I tackle. We need a cap for our oil tank, for one. We got this installed. Okay, we need a horn. That's 2. We got this one multi-connector up here, if you can see it, I'm not sure. and it does not have the plastic over the outside, so that's a short hazard. And we need an oil pump. So I think I'll go up and into my stash and see what of those I can find. Okay, Yamaha Enduro fans, I'm back. I got sidetracked a little bit by shipping a part to a fellow Enduro nut. So we picked up a few of the parts that we're going to need. This here is a gasket for the oil cap. This is a brand new oil cap. This is an oil pump out of a parts bike I picked up. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Everything moves like it should. So I guess we'll go ahead and see if we can't get that installed. All right, so I guess the first thing we need to do is clean this old gasket off of here. And once again, we go for our trusty old pocket knife. Because the gasket is pretty crusty. And I'll bring you back once I get this all cleaned up. Alright, so we have our brand new oil pump base gasket. It looks just like this. And with a little luck, it will fit right on there, and it does. Okay, I also have two brand new M5 by 16 screws that will attach this to the case. And I have a drive shaft which will go in and make contact with another shaft inside there. With a little bit of luck. Oh, I got to clean up in there too. That's looking pretty shitty. Well, I don't know how much of this you'll be able to see because we just lost electricity. So, on top of being in isolation because of the virus, we're now in more isolation. I thought sure that was all the way in there, but she ain't going. There it goes. And with my JIS screwdriver, I crank this down. And I crank this one down. I found a place online that sells the JIS machine screws. Okay, now, does this come under and around? Let's see. Uh-oh, sorry I kicked you there. Let's see, this goes this way. So, oh yeah, it's got to go in there. And it should hook into here with a little bit of manipulation. Maybe if I just put it in there. Like trying to stick a wet noodle up a wildcat's ass. That's what my daddy used to say many years ago. Well, I'm sure you can't see what I'm doing because I got my hands in the way, but I can't do it any other way. And we got that around there, and that should go in that groove. And then when we hit the throttle, look at that. We got an oil pump. All right, now I've got two hoses that come in here, one of which will come from the oil tank. I think this one right here. This one I believe is a vent. I'm not sure. I'll have to verify that. But I think this one is the oil tank that comes down, goes through a rubber here and into here. And it'll come down and around here and hook to this. That's the input to it. Then I need a smaller hose that connects onto here with a little crimper on it. And that will go up to here, which needs a banjo bolt, 2 crush washers, 2 copper washers, and that small hose that goes down to there. So I think I have all that stuff. So I think I'll go try and source it and see if I can find it. The nice thing they did apparently on the 74s, this hole that you have to put this rubber in used to be in the 72s and 73s back here. So in order to replace this rubber, unless you were some kind of a contortionist, you had to pull this entire cover off, which means you had to drain the oil and all that stuff before you could get at the hole to put the rubber in there. And the way it was situated up here, even if you did have the rubber in there and you were trying to get the hose in, the hose would not go down through there. It was a real trick to try and get that hose to go feed down. So this is a much better solution here. I'm not sure that I have this rubber gasket, grommet, but I'm hoping it's the same as, it looks about the same as the one that goes back here. And that's all I have to say on that. So, Enduro fans, that's all for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to do what I've been promising to do and work on the wiring for this thing. Make sure I got all the wires in place for the turn signals, headlight, and all that. Make sure that they're all connected properly and that the switches work and things like that. So stay tuned tomorrow for part 3.